Hello everyone, and welcome back. As promised, I've written myself a list of my top 14 albums of 2014. Top 14 of 14, yeah! So yeah, I'm going to talk about the albums that I think are the top 14 of 2014, and I'm going to recommend at least one song from each of them, and so yeah, without further ado, here we go. Top 14 of 2014. Number 14! The Black Keys, Turn Blue. I feel like at this point everyone knows who the Black Keys are, and if you don't, you might just not recognize the name. The Black Keys are the ones who do Gold on the Ceiling, Howlin' for You, Tighten Up, and a bunch of other stuff. They're really good. I very much enjoy them, and I think they did a really good job with this album. I wasn't even expecting a new Black Keys album, and it just happened, and so that's super cool too. And so, yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised by this album dropping. And my favorite track on Turn Blue by the Black Keys is Gotta Get Away. It's actually one of my favorite songs that came out this year at all. It's a fantastic song, and it is stuck in my head fairly often. So, with that in mind, number 14 is Turn Blue by the Black Keys, and I recommend Gotta Get Away. Number 13. Death from Above 1979's highly anticipated album, The Physical World. I can almost guarantee you that anyone who listened to this album, at least in the first few days of its release, had known about Death from Above 1979 since they released the other album, their first album, their only other album, I'm a Man, You're a Machine? I'm a Woman, You're a Machine? That album, and we were all very sad when we thought they were never going to release another album again, and then early in 2014 they announced that they would. They released Trainwreck 1979, the single from The Physical World, and my goodness, we were elated. Fans of Death from Above 1979 were so happy to hear that they were coming back and coming out with a new record right away. It released, it was fantastic, and it lived up to expectations. It was great. Once again, I'm going to recommend the single. Yeah, Trainwreck 1979, the single from The Physical World by Death from Above 1979. Number 12. Run the Jewels 2 by Run the Jewels. It's a fantastic mixtape, album, whatever it is, and it's just great. I never would have thought that Killer Mike and LP would even consider collaborating with each other. Never mind released two recordings to date, and now they're working on more. They announced when Run the Jewels 2 dropped that they were already working on more. So it's just crazy. It's cool. They're both insane, and together it's just amazing. I have to recommend actually two tracks from this. I was very impressed with the track that they have with Zach De La Rocha. In case you don't know who Zach De La Rocha is, he used to be the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine. And if you don't know who Rage Against the Machine is, that's kind of weird. But also, I have to recommend the track with Travis Barker, because it's Travis Barker. You can't not. He does a lot of rap nowadays. He's got actually 2 or 3 albums where he drums for rappers. He's had Snoop Dogg, he's had 50 Cent, he's had all sorts of famous rapping type folks on his albums, and yeah, he's now on the Run the Jewels album. So yeah, number 12 was Run the Jewels 2 by Run the Jewels. Number 11, Stay Gold by First Aid Kit. What can I say? I've loved First Aid Kit since they first came around, since they were first signed to Third Man Records, Jack White's record label, and I was just looking through the artists that Jack White had signed, and I stumbled across them, listened to their stuff, just immediately fell in love with their music, and Stay Gold is no disappointment. I gotta say, hearing them curse was actually like super adorable. I was really surprised when it happened, but I was giggling so hard. I had seen the explicit label on Spotify, but I was just like, what are they gonna say? And then I don't even remember what she says, but I know that it was just so amusing to me. It was just so adorable. I'm being predictable, and once again recommending the single from the album, Silver Lining, because it's a fantastic song, and really every song on this album is great, and they all showcase their voices perfectly. So really, anyone is hardly any better than the others, but I also am like very driven to recommend Master Pretender, because that's the one where she curses, and it's really amusing to me, at least. I don't know. They seem so innocent, and then to hear them cursing is just, adorable. So, number 11, Stay Gold by First Aid Kit. So number 10, another album that I was not expecting to happen at all. I didn't even realize the band was still together. It's a fantastic album by a fantastic band. You may know them from their concept album David Comes to Life, on which they have their one song that most people know by them, which is Queen of Hearts. That's right, it's up, and the album was Glass Boys. I'm gonna recommend the first track, Echo Boomer, the 8th track, Led by a Hand, and the title track, the 10th track, Glass Boys. They're all really good. The whole album, obviously, is excellent, otherwise it wouldn't have been number 10. All three of those songs definitely showcase the spectrum of dub and what they can do. So if you're into loudish, screamy-ish music, feel free to give that a listen. It's not as raucous, actually, as David Comes to Life. So if you were a little put off by David Comes to Life, or you just went and listened to Queen of Hearts because you had no idea what I was talking about, and you're like, yeesh, I don't like that, I still would recommend giving a listen to some of the stuff from Glass Boys. It's not as energetic, if you will. So yeah, number 10, Glass Boys by Dope. Number 9. Nova Scotia by Of Us Giants. Well, Of Us Giants is a band, and they released this album, Nova Scotia, and started touring, and I was really looking forward to more music from them. Then they broke up. They released their whole back catalog for free. They had a bunch of EPs and some cool covers and some demos. but I'm pretty sure Nova Scotia was the only actual album they ever made, and that is a shame because they are fantastic. Yeah, I can't. I don't like that they broke up. It makes me sad because they had promise. But anyway, that didn't stop me from putting Nova Scotia at number 9. I recommend Iron Boat featuring Lindsay Pavao. The other song that they feature Lindsay Pavao on, which I forget the name of, the title track, basically every track on that album I recommend highly. Oh, I'm an idiot. The title track is the other one that features Lindsay Pavao. I also like Sycamore Tomb, Stonehands, Machine Heart, all fantastic songs. Just, I highly recommend this album. You do not understand that, like, the top 14 albums, it was so difficult, first of all, for me to pick only 14 albums, and then to put them in any sort of order was impossible. Really, the only one that really is in any sort of order is the number 1 album. It was definitely my favorite album of the year. Everything behind that is kind of tied for second, to be completely honest, or maybe some of them, the later ones, for third. But Nova Scotia by Elvis Giants definitely at least begins the ones that are tied for second when counting down. Otherwise, it continues the ones that are tied for second. But it's definitely, just because it's number 9 does not mean that number 8, 7, 6, 5, etc. are much better than it. They're all so good. I love music so much, and there's just so much music out there that for me to pick only 14 was insanely difficult, and to put them in order was nigh on impossible. But these 14, I think, were the 14 best albums in no specific order except for number 1, pretty much. I mean, that's a lie. In order, but not really a very big difference between them. It's, this is number 9, number 8 is this close. It's this close of a race, not this far apart, you know. No one album here is miles, streets ahead. No album on this list is streets ahead of any of the other ones. That's a Community reference. I hope you got that. But yeah, so every album on this list is worth, in my opinion, checking out. I did 14 because it was 2014, so I've got runners-up at the end because I could not decide, and if you disagree with me, that's fine, because this is my opinion, but if you do disagree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments, and if you agree with me, feel free to let me know in the comments. I want feedback. I'm probably going to share this with my Tumblr followers, my followers on Tumblr, and see what you guys like, see what they like, and hopefully get some feedback, not even just on this on the list, but on my video